Yeah, fear, the four-letter word that stops people from realizing their dreams and becoming an entrepreneur. I had a person recently ask me in the comments, hey, how do I let my father know that I want to go in business for myself? And I can feel that question. That was a question of fear. That was like, how do I let them know that I want to give up my full-time job? This is one of the most common fears. But today, I'm going to talk to you about 4 fears and how to overcome them so that you can be successful in business. So if you're interested in learning more about them, I'm going to invite you to come along for the journey as we dive in. Hey, welcome to a random podcast where we challenge the status quo and we empower people like you to think differently. Well, most of us have fears. Fear is nothing but doubt. Doubt in one's ability, doubt in one's circumstances, doubt in one's concept. That's what fear is. So today we're going to look at 4 fears, and then at the end, I'm going to have a golden nugget for you, a common thread that you can take through any fear that you have in life to be able to dominate. So let's go ahead and start off with number 1, people bondage. I did a video sometime back, and it was in reference to building up confidence. One of the steps that was pertinent was about people bondage. The fear that we have is people telling us we can't do it, naysayers. And that's the subject of the person who asked the question that kind of sparked me to do this video. Most of us have a fear of being rejected, ridiculed, made fun of, or be a disappointment to people because we're not doing things the way that they want to do it. Also, we're looking for approval. Hey, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's great. You should do that. I'm going to tell you when it comes to people bondage, don't give a flip. Point blank, don't give a flip. If they don't have anything positive to add, and what I mean by positive, that means positive feedback on how to overcome things, or positive feedback on looking at alternative ways. If they're negative, you don't need them. You have to learn how to turn people off because your vision, your dream is yours, and people aren't always going to accept it. They can't see it the way that you see it. It was given to you for a reason. People tend to give you advice based on the level where they're at or the level what they think they can achieve. So don't be limited by other people's views and opinions and be concerned about their feedback with you going into business. Take the dive. It's just a risk. The world's not going to end. The second fear that most people have is the inadequacy in being able to do the job. And this could also come from, number 1, the people bondage, where someone told you you couldn't do it. Someone told you wasn't smart enough. Someone told you didn't have enough experience. People like to sow doubt into your mind in order to prevent you from moving ahead of them. And sometimes you want to put doubt in your own mind because you want to stay in your comfort zone. So you feel inadequate in areas of going into business and you say, hey, I'm just not going to do it. Instead of becoming adequate if you are inadequate. Instead of finding and seeking out people who can mentor you. Watch that video that I did. Instead of finding people who can be on your board, instead of joining groups that you can get information on, instead of realizing your ability to listen to videos, read books, and absorb information, just like you're doing right now. I have a whole library of videos that you can watch on how to start the businesses, how to be able to run the businesses, and the things to watch out for. If you really want to go into business, you really have a desire to, you can overcome this fear by educating yourself, making yourself more adequate, and shutting out the noise of the naysayers. All right. Fear number 3, livelihood. This one is big. Some people worry about, hey, what if I don't make enough money? And I can't feed my family or I can't pay my bills. I mean, I don't want to lose what I have. I mean, I don't know if I want to take a risk because I might not make enough money. Well, guess what, folks? This is simple. I don't know why we over-dramatize things like this. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to think this one out. It's our own fears that have been seeded into us, whether it's from our upbringing or whether it's from our family members or friends, or whether it's something about our own self-esteem. But it's easily resolved. Just because you go into business doesn't mean you have to forfeit your other source of income, or you don't game plan for another source of income. You might need to open your new business on a part-time basis and try it out. See how well it works. You don't have to blow up the bridge from which you come. You still can maybe work a full-time job. You might have to just work physically harder 10 times, 20 times more. You might be able to put other people in a position of running the business as far as operational wise while you still receive some type of paycheck. You might have a spouse that it can also aid in the business or is receiving a paycheck. You can also take on more partners in your business. So now there's more people to take on the responsibility. Therefore, you can stay hitched to some solid paycheck if that is your fear. If that's what you fear, you can eliminate it just like that. But there will come a time that you will have to let the pacifier go, especially if things are moving well with the business. And that leads to fear number 4. Number 4. Oh my goodness, what if I go out of business? What if my company tanks? Everything I put into it, all the time, the resources, go down the drain. I lose everything. I'm devastated. That's what your fear is, that you go 10 toes deep and you lose it all and you feel like you'll be ruined. This is your fear. Well, guess what? Stuff happens. That's number 1. Number 2, what if the job you work on closes tomorrow? You get a pink slip. Oh my gosh, your world is destroyed there as well. So why you put so much faith in someone else's business, but you're not putting faith in your business and you're worried about, oh my God, what if I lose everything? Oh, I don't want to put in everything and lose everything. You ever hear a person go, well, you know what? I could have did better, but I didn't put everything into it because I wasn't willing to risk it. That's why you didn't do better. Okay. The great thing about owning your own business is that you can see the writing on the wall before it happens. So if you're 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year out from being at devastation levels, and you can prepare to be able to exit successfully without being devastated like you would if you got a pink slip. So stop making excuses for not going 10 toes down on going into your business. I always used to have a saying to people, don't get off the porch unless you plan to play. So in other words, if you don't want to do it, okay, let somebody else do it. Let somebody else be successful doing what you have in mind, doing what your vision is, because someone will give birth to it eventually and they will pursue it. And then you will be kicking yourself in behind if you already haven't been kicking yourself in behind. So this fear, you have to throw it away. You have to say, I did my research. I got my people together to advise me. I put all the structure together the right way. You should go in with confidence. Again, remember I said fear is doubt. Now, I told you I was going to give you a golden nugget. So there's a video I did some time ago. I keep mentioning videos in here because this is so paramount to everything we're doing. But there's a video, Unconventional Strategies of Success. And my argument there is that success is not a destination. Success are actual steps and milestones on this journey that we have. So if you want to get rid of fear and build up confidence, you will set up micro moments, goals, milestones along your path. Getting incorporated, getting permits and license, signing a lease, getting first sale, whatever it is. These are milestones that are levels of success, and it reminds you that you are succeeding, therefore allowing you to get rid of the doubt that you have in your mind, therefore getting rid of the fear. I used to take martial arts, taekwondo. Yes, at one time when I was younger, and I had a Master Young. Master Young told me, he said, he was from Korea. He said, in Korea, we have white belt, black belt, no other belts. He said, we came up with other color belts for Americans because Americans need to see progress and some type of gratification. So that's exactly what I'm going to tell you to do. Set up belts, set up milestones for you can feel like you're progressing and you don't have to worry from starting at white belt and waiting 10 years to get to black belt. Have you ever been in a company meeting or a sales meeting or even in a discussion with a group of friends and you were kind of scared to speak up, even though you had the answer? The answer is right there on the tip of your tongue, or you had the feedback that they were asking for. I know it was due to a lack of confidence, or I like to say it was due to fear. All lack of confidence is built up in the word fear. So we're going to explore that today. There's 5 keys to be able to instantly build up your confidence, but they are focused on overcoming certain fears. So this is going to be very important for you to listen to and follow along. Now, as I talk about each one, I want you to keep in mind how they build on each other because it's almost like a building block. And at the end, we're going to piece it all together, and I'm going to show you how you can incorporate this into your life instantly, but also how we can make it something that's going to last forever. So the first one that we're going to discuss is people bondage. This is something that I had to work on in my life, but it was earlier in my life when I was kind of younger. I sort of have the A personality, so I kind of overcome it a little bit quicker. But you don't have to have A personality to break the chains on this. Where people bondage is tricky is because sometimes it is valued opinions and value expectations from others that you should be meeting, but you shouldn't be in bondage to it. You shouldn't be worried about people's opinions, uh, trying to live up to their expectations or live down to their expectations, or receive their feedback to the point that it destroys your own dreams and hopes and wishes. You have to kind of go against the grain a little bit. That's how you kind of break away from people bondage. You have to look not to fit in all the time. Sometimes you need to look to be the outsider, be that rebel. It feels good sometimes to be the rebel. And you need to kind of look at doing that in order to kind of break away from this bondage. And I know this is going to sound a little odd to some people. Said, well, if I'm being mentored by somebody, should I be going against them? Should I be rebellious? They have expectations, they have these things. I would say that just because you're being mentored by someone doesn't mean they're right. They're human. So sometimes the people we love, the people we admire, the people we're trying to model ourselves after limit us. They limit us with their own limited beliefs. Everyone has their own beliefs. And when someone says you can't do it, they're saying that they can't do it. Because something's always been done that's never been done before. So there's no such thing as it can't be done. You just have to find a way. I didn't mean to get off on that rabbit trail, but I want to kind of just emphasize, don't let anyone, no matter what their authority is, no matter what level they're at, don't let anyone put a prison around you, limit your potential, and limit your abilities to succeed. So you have to fight and get out of this. And the fear that really is driven by is the fear of disappointment and not being accepted, being rejected. So we have to get used to disappointing people, and we have to get used to being rejected. Those are two things that we have to kind of maybe take as a little bit of a badge of honor when we know we're purposely moving this direction. So that's my piece of advice when it comes to the people bondage aspect. Now let's take a look at the next one. The next key is know your stuff. This is so powerful because a lot of people, when they lack confidence, they're lacking their value or what their worth is, and they're wrapping up their worth in what they know. They think of other people being smarter, more intelligent, and that they're not adequate. So you're being asked to lead a group, a meeting, to speak, and you're like, well, who, me? I don't know. I don't know that information. I'm not that smart. I mean, when it comes to that, you know, we kind of like discount ourselves, and that is something that you have to get rid of. And one of the ways to get rid of it is to know your stuff. And what I mean by know your stuff, do serious preparation. Be the best at that information that you're being asked to deliver. So when we say someone's smarter, all we're saying is that they have more knowledge. And guess what knowledge is? It is learned. And all you have to do is learn the knowledge and you become smarter. No one owns the rights to intelligence and smarts. There's not a monopoly on it. Any of us can click, 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 click now on the internet and get instant knowledge. It's not like the old days when you had to have books and you had to learn to read. So we have that. So there's no excuse to, shortcut and not give yourself the knowledge that you need and try to skate by. If you do that, then you will feel inadequate and you will lack the confidence. So here, know your stuff.
Be sharp, be on top of it. I pride myself on this. I pride myself when I have a meeting or I encounter anybody, I'm going to know more than they do. And I'm going to have a couple little cards in my back pocket. So if they try to poke some holes, I can flip it out on them. So I have all my little traps set too, because I'm just that confident. That's what I learned to do in that respects. Next up, number three. This is number three. Now, I want you to keep in mind, again, we're going to bridge it all together because these are building blocks, stepping stones. And I'm going to show you how to incorporate this again into your life and how to make it marinate, take place, that you can act with instant confidence, Mamba mentality type of confidence, Kobe Bryant's mindset type of thing. And if you know anything about Kobe Bryant, God bless the dead, you know that was like super crazy confidence, and that's what I'm gonna help you bridge together at the end of this video. So most definitely stick around for that. But here, become comfortable with failure. You have to be okay with failing. Kobe Bryant even said you have to be okay with missing shots. You have to believe no matter how many shots I miss, I'm going to hit the next one. The more that you do, the better you get at whatever you're doing. So that's where you need to be comfortable with making mistakes. Now, the fear that we have that drives this one, oh, I don't want to make a mistake, I'm scared of failing, is the fear of being embarrassed or shamed or laughed at, right? Like, oh man, you're a dummy. Oh, that was stupid. Oh, you said that wrong. Guess what? You stepped up and did it. They didn't. So who's stupid? Not you. Right? So you have to get over that fear. And that fear again is attached to, remember I said these are building blocks attached to people bondage, right? I'm worried about what they're going to say about me. I'm worried about being accepted. I'm worried about being embarrassed. Let me explain something to you. Most people are followers. Most people are fake, and most people have low confidence themselves. That's why they try to beat up on other people. So don't feed into that. They laugh at you. So what? They make a joke. So what? They say, oh man, that ain't the way you say that. So what? Tell me how I say it then. Now I know how to say it. Thank you. Boom. Learn from mistake. Move on to the next one. So be comfortable with having failure in your life and mistakes. This is the only way that you're going to have wins and success. You miss more shots than you make. Same thing in baseball. Strike, 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 strike. Boom. All it takes is that one hit. That's what Dave Justice said. If y'all, I'm dating myself, I know. Atlanta Braves, yes. Dave Justice said, boom. You forget my 4 strikeouts. If I hit that home run, that's what it comes down to. So be okay with failure. All right. Fell forward, fell a lot. You'll get to the success. Trust me. Next up, outwork everybody. Outwork everybody. This goes back to like know your stuff. If you know your stuff more than other people and you're outworking everybody, you're doing more work than they do. They do this much, you do that much. They do this much, you do that much. You outwork them, whether it's sports, whether it's at your job, whether it's your own business, whatever it is. If you're outworking them, oh man, oh man, and you're out and you're getting more knowledge than they are. Oh man, and you're not worried about what people have to say, and you're not worried about failing. Gosh, you will be a beast, a beast. Mamba mentality, confidence. Trust me, it will be crazy. So remember these steps again. Boom, boom, boom. All four. All four stacked on top of each other. No people bondage, know your stuff, be comfortable with failure, and boom, outwork everybody. Don't ever let someone outwork you. You have the same amount of hours in a day that everyone else has. Kobe Bryant used to get up at 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. And the reason why he did that, because he went to have advantage. By the time you got up, he already had one workout done. So if he did this over a year's period of time, then he got a year edge on you. So do the math on that. You can catch a Kobe Bryant type of video on that. Just click it, Kobe Bryant work ethic, if you don't know. All right. So outwork everybody. Now, this last one's going to be a little controversial, but I'm going to bring it all together. All together, why this last one's important. All right. Breathe your own exhaust fumes. Breathe your own exhaust fumes. Michael Dell, the creator of Dell Computers, said that you don't want to get caught breathing your own exhaust fumes or believing your own newspaper clippings. What that means is being too prideful, being too, egotistical, feeling yourself. I say you need to breathe some of it. I say that you need to breathe it within moderation and under control. It's a controlled substance. Success and ego is a controlled substance, as I'm going to call it. So you need to breathe some of it because I believe if you put in the hard work and that you did get all the knowledge and you rejected the naysayers and you failed a lot to succeed, then you have the right. You have the right to say, look at me. Yes, I did it. Yes, I achieved it. This world has made us want to, oh, you need to be humble. Humble to some degree. That doesn't mean you need to bow your head and say, oh, yeah, I did. If take the praises that you get. Hey, man, you did a good job. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I work hard for it, man. That's not being egotistical and prideful. That's saying, hey, guys, I'm recognizing that I did well because I fought through all this. I'm going to breathe a little bit of my own fumes. And that was exhaust fumes, folks. Okay. I'm going to breathe a little bit of that. And I'm going to take a moment to bask in that glory. Now, I'm not going to let it get out of control where I start insulting people, acting like I'm a god and all sorts of. No, we're talking about just building up your confidence for all the things that you did stacked upon each other, stacked upon each other. It all stacks on each other. That's why it's important that you put them together. Now, how do you put them together? So let me go ahead and bring back up here the list and go ahead and remove that. So here's the list. Take a picture if you haven't wrote them down. Write them down if you want to. Screenshot or whatever you must do. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 1, 2, 3, 4 builds up to allow you to do 5, and you need to do these things in your life because they're not. When I say they're not hard to do, it doesn't take a genius to do it. It doesn't take a rock star to do it. It don't take an A personality person to do it. You don't have to go through no special class to do it. These are little things that you can do yourself. So one thing I'm going to do is give you a challenge. I'm going to give you a challenge to incorporate these things into your life over the next week, 7 days, to think outside the box, go against the grain, try not to be accepted, be a little bit of an outsider, break that bondage, right? Challenge, authority in the thought pattern. Okay. Studying and getting all the knowledge you can when it comes to any area that you're trying to compete with. All these things here. I want you to get comfortable with failing. Fail, and learn from it and get better at it. So that way you get to perfection to success. So I want you to incorporate these things in your life this week over next 7 days. And I want you to kind of take notes on how you felt and where you failed at, and the blockages that you had, and a couple of times that you did do it. How did you feel? How did things work out? And kind of just put a journal of that. Now, when I say I bridge it together, if you listen to any of my other videos where I talk about personal growth and self-help in that respect, I always ended about meditating and having affirmation. You need to meditate. You need to take out the negatives that were put in here, the fears and the barriers that were there, and replace it with this information. And you need to come up with your own kind of mantra and say, I have no boundaries. I'm not limited by what people say or think. I'm not fearful of people's opinions. I don't worry about being embarrassed or ashamed. All those kind of things. I'm a smart person. I learn very easy. I'm absorbing more knowledge every day. This is part of meditating and bringing all this together. I know it sounds whatever, but this is what helps to continue to sow the seeds and water it so that way it can grow. And this is something you have to do over a period of time. But I believe if you make some of these little moves within a week, you'll see a difference. So I am anxious to hear what your feedback is, because I want you to come back and I want you to report what you felt and what happened and the progress. So I want you to put it in the comments. And if this has been any value to you, or any videos or anything that we do have been value to you, or you want to hear more of these types of personal growth videos, that's going to help you grow in a social and economical way anyway, then I want you to push the like button, and I want you to subscribe. And I want you to share to someone else who you think can use this. Share with them, and catch our other videos, like the one that was recently done. Five lies your parents told you that is hurting your success. I think that one would be great for you as well. But this is your boy Ji, Random Podcast, a random voice of the people. Appreciate you being here. I'll see you on the other side.